Hello everyone. Welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. Got new internet, so I wasn't sure if we were live. Look, Konrad Laimer. By the way, I'm going to preface the video live stream show here by saying I could be wrong, but that's okay because human beings are capable of wrong think and wrongdoing. Konrad Laimer is a player that I have mixed emotions about because while I do rate him at RB Leipzig, I think he's a phenomenal footballer, has a lot of good abilities about him. His pressing, his cardio, this man only runs in the gym. He's that one man that walks into the gym, to the treadmills he goes, and just runs. Laimer is a very energetic footballer. He wins a lot of duels. For pressures, I think he's up there in Europe. I'm not sure that there's a better midfielder out there that presses opponents as well and as consistently as he does. Konrad Laimer is amazing at RB Leipzig. I don't think his technical limitations would work well at Bayern. His passing isn't all that great. His ball carrying isn't all that great. His shooting isn't all that great. But I guess he makes up for it with his energy and his running. And sometimes in combative games, you need that. But for me personally, I wouldn't mind if this deal just fell apart. I wouldn't mind. Because for me, I'm thinking of it like, man, I want a player that's technical, but also gives me the energy that I want. Come on, man, that's what I'm looking for. Laimer has a lot of great abilities. He has a lot he can offer. But I'm just not sure, man. I'm not sure. There's other Bayern news going around, but I believe the story this morning is coming from none other than Sports Bild. Oh my gosh. Am I an idiot? Where'd this story come from? Oh yeah, CF Bayern. Negotiations between Bayern and Leipzig for Konrad Laimer are currently on hold. No movement since Bayern's latest bid was rejected. That could mean Bayern are preparing another bid for Laimer as we speak. They're going to submit it. Leipzig want 30 million euros guaranteed and maybe some add-ons. Bayern are offering 18 million, which would be a really interesting deal. It would make Twitter go meltdown mode, football Twitter at least. Bayern are stealing from their rivals again. And to be honest, that's another reason I'm not really that interested in Laimer. Why don't we just have a rival with a good player? Let's give him Laimer. Keep him there for a year. We can sign him for free next season. I don't think our midfield breaks without Laimer. I think we have enough midfielders that work, that run. But then people might say losing Raka and Tolisso means you need 2 additional midfielders. I agree. But I don't think Laimer's the solution. Ismail Benassar, my boy, the Algerian Thiago Alcantara. Get him. Let's go for Benassar. For me, that guy is on a different level. And AC Milan want 45 million for him. When Bayern comes knocking on your door, there's nothing you can do. We're taking your girl, we're making her pregnant, and making you raise the baby. So I think we should go for Ismail Benassar. Brazo, if you're watching this, I'm on my knees, bro. Please, man. Please, Brazo. Go for Ismail Benassar. Oh my gosh. He's so technical. His shooting, everything just reminds me of Thiago. Why 6 midfielders at Bayern? Well, 6 midfielders. So we have Goretzka, we have Kimmich, we have Gravenberch, and that's about it. Musiala can play in the position, but that's not his best position. Vidovic was playing in the 6. I think that was actually a message from Nagelsmann to the board that I do need a midfielder here. Goretzka's injured a lot, so you're always going to have Gravenberch and Kimmich. That's what it looks like. Goretzka's injured for an additional 6 weeks now. So he's not back until September. Oh my, that's crazy. He's going to miss the entire month of August. That's a very depressing sight. So Goretzka's always injured. It's going to be Kimmich and Goretzka. or Kimmich and Gravenberch. If Gravenberch gets injured, which I feel like he's one of those players that gets injured more often because of the way he plays, really technical, dribbling a lot. He's going to get fouled a lot, so higher chance of injury. That means Musiala is playing CDM again. We don't have Tolisso. We don't have Roca. Oh, Sabitzer, my bad. I just forgot about him. He's irrelevant to me. Yes, actually, we would need Sabitzer more than ever before. We need him to be there for us. So, Marcel Sabitzer, I hope you're ready because you're going to be playing some games. I'd be happy with that. Apparently, we were linked with Zielinski. I don't think Zielinski is the midfielder we need. He's an attacking number 8, not necessarily a DM. You know who I'd want from Napoli, since we're talking about it? Fabian Ruiz. Fellas, that's the guy. You don't know about him, but he has a different element to his game. You watch him, you'll understand what I'm talking about. His contract expires next year. He could be on a free, or Napoli might be forced to sell him for around 40 million. Bro, Fabian Ruiz is exactly what we need. Hardworking, Spanish, so he has that technical ability. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I say technical ability so much. I'm sorry. I did it again. But he's highly technical. His passing is good. He's left-footed. He drops in between the center backs. He's a DM. And he started off as an attacker, number 8 / upfield. And then the new Napoli manager was like, nah, you're going to drop deep. He did it. Looks great. Looks so natural. Basically the same development as Thiago, going from a number 10 to a number 8 to a number 6. I would love Fabian Ruiz at Bayern. I would love him. It would be a fascinating signing. That's what we need, man. We do need a combative midfielder. Laimer would offer that. The pressuring and the pressing game is great. But I almost feel like his technical deficiencies just turn me off a bit. I want Laimer to turn in the midfield sometimes. I want him to make a killer pass that gets an assist. Not always, but sometimes. Goretzka gives you what Laimer gives you. The work rate, the winning the duels in the midfield, winning aerial duels. But Goretzka also gives you the goals, the assist, the cute passes here and there, the tight spatial awareness. He doesn't need to dribble his way out of pressure. He can do the quick pass and move. His link with Davies is good on that left-hand center midfield side. And when Davies comes in, passes to Goretzka, Goretzka knows how to pass. It's always really swift and smooth. I would love that. Or Frankie de Jong. But he's a wuss, man. De Jong's a puss. My man's talking about, it's too cold in Munich. I want to stay in Barcelona forever. Dude, football is not about the weather. It's about winning. Win trophies. Challenge for the Champions League. Stop talking about the freaking weather. What's De Jong's father talking about? If your dad is telling you to not go somewhere because the weather isn't desirable, your he's dragging you down. So that's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. Konrad Laimer deal on hold. Maybe it has to do with the Super Cup. Bayern are trying to keep respect for Leipzig. I mean, remember, we have a month till the transfer window closes. So there's enough time for different things to happen. But in my humble opinion, Laimer isn't what I'm looking for. I want more technical players that also give me the work rate. The best thing about Thiago was his work rate. People forget how much Thiago would track back. He would get in these battles, and that's why he got injured a lot. Really technical, so he got fouled a lot. But man, did he freaking battle. He would tackle you, 2-foot you with the studs up. He had the dirty thing in his game, and you see it at Liverpool. That's why he's so successful in the Premier League, because he's able to be combative. I would love that again at Bayern. So Fabian Ruiz, a combative, technical Spanish bowler. Ismail Benassar, the African Thiago Alcantara, the Algerian Thiago. he's going to give you everything Thiago does, but he's also technical. Or he's going to give you everything Laimer does with the pressing and work rate, but he's also technical. That's what I meant to say. I might be wrong. Like I said, I prefaced the show by saying I could be wrong. Laimer could become an exceptional midfielder. And by the way, I think Laimer would succeed at Bayern, but not the way we want. He'll succeed at, just helping us win tight games. But he won't help us control the midfield like I want. I want complete total football. Yeah. He's just a pressing merchant. And he's really good at it. He's world class at pressing. I don't think there's a midfielder out there that will say they can press better than Laimer, because there are none. His pressing is acceptable. Exceptional. Barella ain't a DM. Yeah, there's a lot of midfielders out there. I don't think Barella would be a midfield that we want. So not necessarily looking at it. Osimhen is expensive. Speaking of strikers at Bayern, Mathys Tel, first training session, already looking comfortable. Bild, ironically, didn't give us a negative story. Usually Bild are like, oh, his first touch was awful. It sucked. He won't succeed at Bayern. No, man. They actually said something interesting. They said he, went right into the French group of players, started talking to players like Bonassar. Get away from him, Matisse. Bonassars are poison to this club. This man still plays for my team. He's starting to talk to Lucas Hernandez. I don't know if Tel speaks English. It's hard to tell. Yeah. I wonder, though, because in France, they teach you English in schools, right? So I wonder if he speaks it. I would really prefer if he did, because I think every player at Bayern speaks English. I'm not kidding. Every one of our players speaks English. Hernandez speaks English. I never expected Kingsley Coman to speak English, but he did. I never expected Manuel Neuer. He surprised me one day. I had never heard this man speak English, and he just pulls up with the perfect English. So I think Bayern always scout languages too, because we could easily hire a foreign coach that only speaks English, can't speak German, but can also speak French. And so you need to be able to communicate to the players in one universal language. Also, when you're in a Champions League game, the referees are speaking English. I think it's almost a given that every footballer has to learn English. The referees all speak English. Oh, no, that's just in the Champions League. If you notice, all the UCL refs speak English, because they're usually some Italian dude, and then the teams are both like German, not German. One could be German and one's Italian, or one's from France. So you got to be able to speak a language they both understand. As a ref, you're just going to have to speak English, because it's considered the universal football language. There's more English speakers than I think any other language, right? Spanish might be up there. So refs learn Spanish too. So I would love it if Tel could speak English. I have not heard him speak English. His announcement, he didn't speak English. No, I just feel like it's almost like a given that he speaks English. All of our players do it. It's really weird. Like, I'll watch a player and I'm like, he has no connections to English whatsoever. He shouldn't be able to speak it. And he just starts speaking perfect English. One of them was Dominic Szoboszlai. I was so confused when I heard him speaking English. So it's because of the football world now. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I guess it's kind of fortunate for people like me who consume Bayern in English. I can't tell you how much I appreciate Aimia Sanmia, man. This is a Twitter page that tweets in English. And most Bayern fans don't speak English, by the way. How many Bayern fans does Bayern have in Germany? Now think about the U.S. alone. We probably have the same amount of fans in the U.S. as in Germany. I'm not kidding you. There's a lot of Bayern fans here. I just found out the other day one of my family members is a Bayern fan. Like, I didn't even know. This whole time I knew this man. I didn't know he was a Bayern fan because we would never talk about that. Some of my friends are Bayern fans. So I from firsthand experience, Bayern has a lot of fans in the US. But what about India, China, Australia? What about the countries without the great teams in the Champions League and all that? The Eastern European countries. What about them? So what about the Netherlands? There's someone out there that doesn't support Ajax and Feyenoord. They probably support Bayern, and because of Robben and the Dutch players we have, and now De Ligt, so now they support De Ligt and just end up supporting Bayern. There's people that start supporting a player like me, Ian Robben, and then just marry the team. Kind of like how you date a girl and then just end up marrying her and her entire family. I started dating Robben and married the club. That's what happened. So I guess that's just an input. I hope he speaks English. I went on too damn long. Went on too long. Sell Bonasar to Leipzig. I'm not going to lie. RB Leipzig are good at business. They really fleece PSG. Look, the PSG fans think they're getting some baller right back in Mukwele. No, they're getting a donkey. They're getting a donkey. So, yeah, who's Mukwele's replacement at Leipzig? See, this is why we need a separate channel about the big four Bundesliga teams where we just talk about everything going on. It would be so fun. If you know any Leipzig fans, feel free to refer them to me. We can talk about things. And yeah, that would be fun. English is the standard language for business and trade around the world. Also, all airline pilots and air traffic control. Wow, I did not know that, Mark. Mark in the chat, Mark W. That's actually very, very interesting. I didn't know pilots had to speak English. Well, yeah, because most air traffic controllers would speak English, and you could be in an airspace that only speaks English. So yeah, English is universal. So I'm hoping all our players speak English. I think they all do. I have not seen a single Bayern player that doesn't speak English. All of them do. Lucas Hernandez speaks English. It's actually beautiful. So very, very beautiful. The French people appreciate Matisse Tel. We believe in what the Stade Rennais have done. They have built a very, very good replacement for Tito, Thierry Henry, of course. So we are looking very forward to the performances of Matisse. He will score very much a lot of goals and assist a little bit more. Yes, of course. He's from the suburbs of Paris. Les jolis mange. Of course. We look for the football. We enjoy the football. We will enjoy it very much. I'm telling you, man, the French streets are saying Matisse Tel is better than Mbappe already. Someone was saying he's faster than Kylian Mbappe, which would actually shock me if he's faster. I don't know. I because I played FIFA, right? The way I play FIFA, I don't really have a fast striker. My strikers are usually 80 pace, but good finishing like Lewandowski. I enjoy using strikers like that because of the way I play FIFA. I do the whole, pass to the striker, hold up, back into a center back when I used to play FIFA. And then I would pass it out wide to the winger. My wingers are going to be really fast. And then I'd whip it into the striker who made the run and they'd head it in. Or I'd pass it in between the lines to the striker and it's just a finish from the box somewhere. That's how I play FIFA. So my strikers were never fast. So I think it'd be weird to use Mbappe as a striker. And that's essentially what Bayern are doing here. Matisse Tel is a fast mother zucker, man. I saw this clip where he pushed the ball. He was in front of the guy, pushed it in front of him, ran, and got in front of the guy. And wow, I think he finished. It was a good finish. Mbappe wishing he was Tel. Of course. Jose Coronel. I am very, very French. I understand the French people more than anyone else. Of course. Of course. Beaucoup. Merci, merci. Merci beaucoup. I'm French. Of course, man. I can do any impressions. And Benzema. I doubt he's faster than Matisse Tel. Dude, you saw the clips. He's fast. Now, he's looking good. He's looking like, bro, I'm telling you, there's something about him that just fits. Wasn't I saying yesterday, this kid's physique is so developed for a 17-year-old? This is not normal behavior. Look at him. He looks bulked. His hair, his face just looks mature. His legs look good. That's what I was saying. This is so weird. I have never seen a 17-year-old look like this. Look at his calves. I'm jealous. My calves aren't that big. But that tells you he works. Look at him. He just looks like he's ready for this. His whole life he's been waiting for this. His mentality. My man just looks comfortable. He doesn't look like this is new to him. He is a young mother zucker, and this is how he's already looking. Already talking with Mane. Already making jokes. I don't think this dude's a shy man. Because, by the way, he captained the under-18s French team. That doesn't mean he's shy. That means the opposite. It means he's a loud mother zucker. He goes in that dressing room. He's like, yo, let's win this. Of course, when you come into a new club and you're young, it's going to take you a while to get to know everyone. Because we forget, you actually need to know your teammates. You got to know them as people because you work with them every day. You don't just work for a company. You're at an office and you just never talk to your coworkers. You have to talk to them. You have to know what ticks them off and what doesn't. If you leaving this in the fridge in this spot annoys them, you try to work around it. So Tao is going to have to talk to Kimmich to understand Kimmich. And then after you build an understanding off the pitch, for some players it takes longer. For some players it takes 2 days, like Mane. I feel like Mane knew all our players immediately. And then eventually, as soon as you know them as people off the pitch, you know them as coworkers and you can trust them, that's when you start building the connections on the field. And it's vice versa, by the way. You have to build connections off the field and on the field at the same time. But it's not until you build great connections off the field that you then have this absolutely amazing connection on the pitch. So I can't wait. Dude, he becomes the most expensive under-17s player in history. Oh my gosh, man. Yo, if we get smoked next season, we are taken. If he doesn't succeed at Bayern, it becomes another Renato Sanchez. I think for every Renato Sanchez, you have a Kimmich, a player that comes in, just a potential player, not world class at any point, and then they develop into themselves and become amazing. I think Tau can succeed at Bayern if all the cards go his way. If next season we're buying a striker, and which, by the way, Fabrizio Romano said something very interesting about Harry Kane. He says that they told them that Bayern's board and Julian Nagelsmann consider Kane as the perfect player for Bayern's style in Bundesliga football. They are convinced Kane could be a new kind of Lewandowski for Bayern. But there's a problem called Tottenham. Tottenham have no intention of letting Kane go. For this summer, it's really impossible. But also in the future, Spurs want to offer Kane a new contract to prevent an attempt from Bayern next summer. So Bayern are really, really looking forward to getting Kane. That's from Fabrizio Romano. If Bayern Munich consider Kane the perfect replacement for Lewandowski, at least for the next 3 years, bro, they're going to go for him. They're going to be asking Spurs how much money. And if Kane wants to leave Spurs next season and won't sign a new contract, Spurs are in a messed up situation because they could lose Kane and not make a profit on him. If Spurs don't win a trophy and comfortably get top 4 next season, I think Kane's going to be like, I got to get out of here. If they get knocked out in the Champions League in the round of 16s again, quarterfinals. I don't know. And Conte doesn't really have a good European record, I heard. So we might get Spurs. We might get him. Thomas says Laimer coming 100%. Well, the deal's on hold now, and I'm guessing it has to do with the Super Cup. Bayern aren't going to try to ramp up business while we have a game against Leipzig in a few days. But I also think there's a point to the Bayern's board's resolve where they're just like, I'll let him go. I'll let the Laimer thing fall through. We don't need him that badly. So we really don't need him that badly. That's all it is. Just want to see Kane at Bayern to see the Prem fan girls cry. Yeah, that would upset a lot of them. Oh, he's going to a Farmers League. Oh, man. That's what they'll do. Hey, so someone did ask in the comments earlier, oh my gosh, we have spent the most money in Europe this season. Oh my God. Arsenal are second to us. But man, that tells you a lot. We bought De Ligt, Mane, Gravenberch, Noose, Matisse Tau, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signings. Got rid of Levy. Sula's for free. Tolisso for free. Mark Rocca, 13 million. Omar Richards, 10 million. Chris Richards, around the same. Our net spend is negative 77 million. But I think we'll sell a few more players. But then Arsenal, if you look at who they signed, some nobodies. Apart from Gabriel Jesus, no one they signed is out of this world. Zinchenko is an average Man City player, good on the ball, flexible in possession, can play in different positions. That's about it. They bought Matt Turner. Interesting. Zinchenko, right? Fabio Vieira, some FIFA regen from Portugal. Good attacking midfielder. Not world class. Not Mateus de Ligt. 57 million, Gabriel Jesus. Good player. He's a top footballer, but not at an elite level, which is why Man City were comfortable with letting him go. So if you look at Arsenal's signings, Bayern Munich, our signings are better. They're so much better. Come on, baby. What are you going to say now? Wait, when did Chris Richards move? Did he move yet to Crystal Palace? My French accent is on point. I should always talk like a... Oh, man. So although we have spent the most money in Europe, this is our craziest transfer window ever. We also bought the smartest, I think. Arsenal just bought a bunch, but we bought the smartest. Leeds spent money, but we spent it smartly. Dang, why are Leeds spending? Oh, they also got a lot of money, so they're spending a lot as well. They sold Rafinha. They sold Calvin Phillips. They sold a lot, man. A lot of players. Manchester City's net spend this summer is, wow, 175 million. Dortmund spent 94 million this summer. But yeah, I was asking a question here. Leipzig's net spend is actually positive. Are they not trying to spend money? Bro, that would be a freaking horrible sign to Domenico Tedesco. They only bought Schlager, and they're getting David Raum, and that's it. Now, they have players coming back from loan. Caden Clark, the American, is joining them. I guess that's their replacement to Tyler Adams, one American for the other. And they have some players from their youth academy, some free signings, and then it's like some goalkeeper. Dude, I am genuinely looking at Leipzig. These guys have brought in 60 million plus in net spend. They sold Brabi to Ajax for 18 million. Hyung-Hin Chan for about almost 20 million to Wolves. Nordi Mukwele, 13 million. Tyler Adams, 22 million. They have made sales this summer. Now, they haven't sold anyone important to their team. Brabe is actually, I think, a profit. They got him for free. Of course, they paid his wages. They went straight to loan at Ajax. Man, actually, damn, that's 3D chess from Leipzig. That's amazing business. They just made 18 million because they signed Brabe for free. He stayed at Ajax on loan. And then at the end of the loan, Ajax had to pay 18 million to sign him. That's funny. They got him for free from Ajax. Oh, that's hilarious. That has to be one of the funniest concepts I have ever seen in my life. Dang, Ajax, Leipzig's fleeced Ajax. Oh, man. Oh, crap. This Gatorade just spilled all over me. Ugh. Sorry, man. It's looking weird. I'm having a horrible time right here. This is terrible. My chair, my freaking pants. Oh, not sponsored. Don't buy Gatorade until they sponsor me. Joshua Kimmich says a backup left back, a backup CDM, and it's a squad primed to win the Champions League. I don't really think we need a backup left back. Davies doesn't have myocarditis, and he's usually fit, right? We never really see injuries to Fonzie like that. I mean, we had a few last year, but I don't really think that's because I think it was the intense schedule we had, which I guess we'll have again. I do think we need a midfielder, which is why the club's going for Konrad Laimer. But like I already explained in this video, don't think Laimer's the guy. Let's go for Ismail Benassar. Come on, man. We can do it. We can do it. Bring this baller to my team. I think he's a Bayern fan. He was watching Thiago, always talking about Thiago and how he emulated Thiago's game. Okay. And you're saying it's a squad primed to win the champion. I think even now we can win the Champions League. Plus Lucas left back and Upa and De Ligt center back. I think if Davies got injured, you have Lucas Hernandez. Actually, another reason I wouldn't really be that invested in a backup left back is Stanisic. He's a good fullback overall. So I think Stanisic would be phenomenal for us. Yeah, at left back. I know it sounds weird, but he does a job, man. I think we just have too many players that can play left back. I think that's why the club let Omar Richards go, because they thought we don't really need a backup left back that badly. Also, Omar's a good player, and he's just sitting on the bench for us. They could have sent him on loan, but they decided to sell him because that makes more money. And we signed Omar for free, and it was a profit. If you really think about it, not only did we get capital in, it was completely profit. Because as much as people say, well, we paid his wages, well, what else are you supposed to do when you have a player at Bayern? You're supposed to pay their wages. We shouldn't be thinking wages mean you don't make a profit on a player, especially if they play and contribute to your team. And that's how Bayern view a lot. Stanisic also has potential. Did you see him when he played for Croatia against Kylian Mbappe? He did very well. I think Stanisic is basically what Pavard would be if he had more pace. Actually reliable. Actually noteworthy to be counted on. And he doesn't get dribbled past easily like Pavard. So, yeah, I think Stanisic is my guy. I want him to play backup left back and all that. Oh, man, this is funny, man. This is hilarious, boys. Ronaldo watching other players join Bayern Munich. Matisse Tau, De Ligt, Mazraoui, Gravenberch, Mane, and it's Ronaldo. Freaking Squidward just left out. Hey, apparently Cristiano really wants Bayern. And Bayern Munich said no again. So he offered himself to Bayern for another time. And we said no. Oh, man. We're just doing him dirty. most expensive transfers for players over 30. Cristiano Ronaldo to Juventus for 126 million. Juve are still suffering from that. If they didn't sign Ronaldo, man, who knows where they would have been? They would have been a much better team. Miralem Pjanic from Juventus to Barcelona 2020-21. Robert Lewandowski to Barcelona. Oh my gosh, we fleeced Barca. Yo, Barcelona are so freaking dumb, man. They're on here so many times twice for signing freaking 30-plus-year-olds for. Oh my gosh. In the last 3 years, Barcelona has paid over 100 million, almost 110 million, for players over 40 or over 30. Oh my gosh. That's terrible business. It's terrible. Barcelona, they're a bummy club, man. So that's interesting. I'm gonna show you the top 10 here. So these are the most expensive players over 30. Ronaldo, Pjanic, Lewandowski third, Paulinho, that's from Barcelona to Guangzhou. That's good. They sold someone for once for a good fee. Leonardo Bonucci, Juventus to Milan. Bonucci was actually good. I don't mind center backs being expensive because, yeah, you can see here, good center backs are sometimes older. Nainggolan was also just a midfielder, so but some of these guys are center backs, right? A lot of them, because they're good. Wait, Juventus to Milan, Bonucci 45 million, and then again he came back for 38 million. That sounds like money laundering to me. Money washing, man. How are you signing the same player and selling them and signing them? That doesn't make sense. The signing was needed, George. What do you think of our transfer window? Adding Tell as well. 10 out of 10. Right now, before it was hard to tell.
What are we talking about?
Oh, crap. I whipped myself.
Come on, man.
It was hard
Why
to
the
tell.
hell would I take a test?
What is he doing?
Now
Come on, man.
I
Give me a little break here.
If you told me we were signing Mane, De Ligt, Gravenberch, Nus Mazararu, and Matisse Tell, maybe 3 months ago, I would have told you we're signing Tell and we're signing Gravenberch, Mazararu. That's it. We're not signing anyone else. If we sign a midfielder, it's going to be Sebastian Rudy on a free, on a loan or something. We ain't doing it like that. If we sign a winger, it's going to be some Real Madrid loanee. Remember, we loaned so many players from Real Madrid. It's probably going to be like, what's his name? That Real Madrid winger, Asensio, right? We'll probably loan him out for a season or two. We'll get Dybala on a free for 2 years or something because we need a South American to keep the Bayern culture intact. That's what I would have told you. If you told me we were signing the players we signed and actually signed them, I don't think I would have believed you. So I'd say this window has been the best window I have seen Bayern Munich participate in. We signed baller after baller after baller, and we're still waiting for some more ballers. And not only did we sign baller after baller after baller, we signed them very early. We signed Mane like the first 3 weeks in the transfer window. My man came back from vacation and immediately signed for Bayern. We still have a month to go until the transfer window closes. So a phenomenal window, if you ask me. 10 out of 10. I am not worried about Laimer. I already have my opinions on him. You know those opinions. By the way, thank you everyone so much for the recent support on the channel. Subscribe if you're new. Smack that like button. Let's keep growing. Share the content out. Also, if you're not subscribed to BayernNow Clips, me and Ethan, a viewer of the channel, we read a thread on Matisse Tell and just how mentally prepared he is for Bayern. It's on the second channel, BayernNow Clips. So go watch BayernNow Clips. Go watch BayernNow Clips, everyone. Definitely a 9 out of 10. Okay. Come on, replace Ulreich. I think he's like a sand wall. Do I live alone? Well, why would you want to know that? Wait. 5.2. 5 out of 10 to 5.2. You're smoking crack, man. For me, it's a 10 out of 10 window because we did lose Levy. And someone's saying we need an experienced number 9 for winning the Champions. You gotta change your name, RL9. Your name should be MT39, baby. Matisse Tell 39 to 9.2. Okay, you went from a 5 to 9.2. That's good. When we signed Gravenberch, the 2 players from Ajax, and I was like, man, it's a decent window. Right? It's all right. We got some players, but I still told you we needed a leader. We were losing Niklas Zula. We needed a leader at the back. And it's not like Zula was a leader. So De Ligt is an improvement. We upgraded, dude. And we lost him on a free, and I was annoyed because it was a free. We didn't get any money for him. But, I was content. What I really wanted was I wanted some bowlers, and we got Mane. Mane, freaking world class. One of the best players in the world on his day. And we just got De Ligt, one of the best center backs in the world. And it's like, he's young. He can be here for 8 years if he wants to. I'm just happy, man. I'm happy. That's why I say 10 out of 10. Zula was my son, but my fat son. No son of mine's going to be a fat bastard. Our window was very good, but without a 9 and Benassar, oh my gosh. I'm making everyone else want Benassar. Guys, I hype him up so much because of how much I love him. Ismail Benassar is one of my favorite footballers. When Liverpool played Milan, I only watched Benassar. I was like, where's Benassar? I was looking up angles to find Benassar. Ismail Benassar. De Ligt is a huge improvement. He's faster. Zula was fast, but it took him a while. Took him a while to get there. I mean, maybe his girl might have liked that. Took him a while to get to that point. She would have been in the motion a little bit longer, lasting longer than other men. But his acceleration, just like he would get turned easily, but then he would run fast and eventually catch up. De Ligt is like a power man. De Ligt is fast, bro. People say I read a comment, they're like, he's slow. I'm like, did you watch him against Kylian Mbappe? Mbappe pushed the ball past De Ligt, thinking he can outpace him. And De Ligt's like, nah. And he looked like he wasn't even running at full pace, Matthijs De Ligt. He just oozed his way in front of Mbappe, kept the ball simple. He outpaced Gnabry multiple times. Lewandowski never beat him in a race. That's what I like in a center back. He reminds me of a young Virgil van Dijk. At 22, Van Dijk wasn't at the level De Ligt is at now. De Ligt has so much experience for a 22-year-old. That's why the signing is so good. We paid $67 million for him to be paid out in the next 4 years. We're actually paying $77 million, not $80 million for De Ligt. $67 million divided by 4, and then plus $10 million in add-ons. We're paying under $77 million for De Ligt, add-ons included. That's amazing. De Ligt is apparently out of fitness and needs to work out more. That's not true. You look at the man, his build is absolutely full of just muscle. But the difference is the training of Bayern is obviously more intense than Juve. And I would understand why. Serie A is a significantly slower league than the Bundesliga. The Bundesliga is the fastest league when it comes to style of play. Like, it's open side to side. Like, it's here. It's add-ons. PSG have Vitinha and Ekitike. I feel like PSG are just dumb, man. They're stupid. How often does an Nkunku leave PSG and perform elsewhere, and then they sign some bum who they need to try to sell a few years later? It's weird. But yeah, I think De Ligt is I don't think he's lacking fitness. Obviously, in the DC United game, he got off a plane, probably didn't even sleep. He probably slept on the plane, trained immediately. Because you got to think, he's flying from Munich to the U.S. Isn't that like 18 hours? Almost 12 hours, right? And then as soon as he lands, he's training. Gets to know his teammates a little bit, and then he starts training. And then he plays the next day. That's crazy. So he did probably lack fitness. But dude, he's a professional. Of course he understands. He said the training at Juve was lower intensity, which it is because it's Serie A. Serie A is not the most pressing league in the world, especially Juve. The highest pressing team in Serie A is probably Napoli. And that tells you a lot because Napoli don't press a whole lot. So, yeah, context is key, man. Can't believe Dybala chose to go to Roma. I was surprised because I was like, Dybala, Roma's like Mourinho. I was lost. That's Mourinho. How's Dybala and Mourinho going to work in the same team? That's something I want to know. Kimmich, stop sending the same text every frigging time someone says. Stop it, Kimmich. Sula's built worse than De Ligt. Sula's been in the Bundesliga since his teens. Did you know Niklas Zula looks fatter now than he did before? He looks big. He's gaining weight, and that's a horrible thing. Oh, Bayern Munich were just celebrating Sadio Mane and his performance at the CAF Awards. It's good. Bayern Munich's under 23s, Paul Werner, Gabriel Vidovic, Jamal Musiala, Matisse Tau, Tanguy Nianzou, Noel Aseko Nkili, Arjan Ibrahimovic, Ryan Gravenberch, Joshua Zirkzee, Lovro Varnarik, Tariq Bachman, Alfonso Davies, Lucas Capodo, Josip Stanisic, Chris Richards, Matisse De Ligt, and Dayot Upamecano. Wow, we have some youngings at the club, dude. Some youngings, dude. When is Chris Richards leaving? Because I know he's linked out of a move. So it looks like Crystal Palace are trying to sell someone, Gibbs White, before they sign Chris Richards, as far as I understand it. Dortmund will bottle like always because they're Borussia Dortmund. Is Leipzig still our biggest challenge this year? Will Dortmund press us? I'll repeat it again. Borussia Dortmund are back with the X because they remember all the good things, but they don't remember the bad things. That's why they brought Terzic. Man, I used to I loved my ex-girlfriend. This new girlfriend I have, her legs are loose and it's not as good. So you go back to your ex who now has 50-plus bodies and you think that's it. That's what it is with Dortmund. Terzic I don't think he's going to be a class coach the way they think. He might be. He could prove me wrong. But his style of play never made me go, oh, that's different. That's Hansi Flick-esque. It's because they won a trophy and they think, wow, Terzic brought us to a trophy. We should have just kept them instead of Marco Rosa. I feel like Marco Rosa, if he got enough time, would have made Dortmund a better team. Because Rosa actually understands football at a level that most people don't comprehend. Rosa is a good coach. I don't know where he's going. He got sacked, and that was unfortunate. I mean, he lost to some really interesting teams. He lost to Ajax. He lost in the group stages of the Champions League. I kind of understand why he got sacked now that I really rationalize it. But after 46 games, he could have done something. He could have done something great. So it's going to be interesting to see where Marco Rosa goes. I'd love him to take over a Bundesliga team. Let's see what happens. But yeah, so Dortmund might be skeptical with the coach, but they did sign some good players. Leipzig, however, have done absolutely no business, but they have a really good team. I'd say a more complete team, not better than Dortmund. Dortmund have better footballers. Leipzig have a better team. They function better as a team. I'd say Leipzig still need reinforcements. They need a midfielder that can play deep and actually control the game. They have these freaking lanky mother zuckers that can't pass to save their life. All their mistakes start from a midfielder's mistake, and then they get broken down. RB Leipzig have a better coach than Dortmund. Tedesco is doing a craziness. So I think, personally, Leipzig will push Bayern to the edge. And the way And if we play the way we did at the latter stage of last season, we are going to be cooked and the Bundesliga will be lost. Because statistically, Leipzig were the best Bundesliga team in 2022, despite the fact that we won it. That tells you a lot, doesn't it? On a treble season from us this season. Yeah. Nolan says, I believe Leipzig will challenge us more than Dortmund. Well, there you have it. All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching this. I really did appreciate all of you here. Thank you all for tuning in once again. By the way, subscribe to the second channel. I keep saying it. If you subscribe enough and we get 1,000 subscribers on BayernNow clips, I'll have no choice but to stream Football Manager every day or something. Obviously later at night. It'd be fun. All right. Mia, send Mia, and peace. Drink Prime. What's Prime? Yeah, I know what Prime is. Why would I do that? It's probably the same as Gatorade with just less calories. It's just sugar water, let's be honest. It doesn't give you energy. It's just sugar water with some brown and some green and some purple to make it look different. It's not healthy anyways. Bye.